Well, time for our first corporate on the show. Birla Corp, that's one of the big winners this year. Stock has surged nearly around 40% in trade in FY24 so far. I mean, only a quarter in there. To understand how are things shaping up, Mr. Sandeep Ghosh, the Managing Director as well as Chief Executive Officer of the company, joins us on the show. Hi, good morning, sir. Thanks so much for joining in. Well, your stock price has been rocketing, and clearly there's a lot of interest for a large-sized company like yours on an EV per ton. Well, you're still trading pretty attractive at around $80 per ton. Want to understand a couple of aspects. First, on the demand front. Reports indicate that demand has been quite strong. So could you tell us what was industry growth, demand growth like in the first quarter? And also, how much better have you all grown in comparison to the industry? Go ahead, sir. Mr. Sandeep? Oopsie. All right. I think we'll have to, reconnect with Mr. Sandeep in just a bit. But clearly, that's been one of the big gainers. So we'll try to get more clarity in terms of, what's the view. Yeah, just the last few months up more than 25%. The move actually started in April. And now the street is baking in a better performance that's likely to come about in the coming quarter. All right. I think he's back with us. Hi, sir. Good morning. Mr. Sandeep, I hope our audio is reaching you now and we're audible.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Lovely. So I was just congratulating you because your shareholders will be quite happy. In the last few months, your stock price is up 35 to 40%. So I wanted to understand that how has demand shaped up for the industry in the first quarter of this year? And how much better have you all grown in comparison to the industry?
Thank you very much for having me over and giving Birla Corporation the platform to talk to you. First of all, the congratulations, I think, should deserve to the investors, who have placed their faith in us, the confidence in us. We as management do our job, try to do our job to the best of our abilities. And we are happy if that is being reflected in our share values as well as our, investors are getting rewarded for it. So that's a matter of satisfaction. Now, to answer your question specifically, industry volume growth has been, I think, quite healthy. We have been projecting for the year about everybody's projections seem to be that it'll be in the high single digits, 8 to 9%. First quarter, though, the growth we reckon has been in double digits. And we have kind of grown at par or thereabouts the market. You see, we are not really having a huge capacity expansion. So we'll be happy to grow with the market or marginally ahead of it. And that's what we are doing. In terms of, the issue which will remain throughout the year is on pricing. Although there is, there's a softening on the cost side, because obviously for fuel, one doesn't see prices really going up. But at the same time, one will be worried for prices slipping. And therefore, we will look at the coming quarter with caution because that's the monsoons, how things shape up, though there are certain other tailwinds which might help. So that's the balance. But one is happy between the healthy mix, between the healthy growth of volume, and as long as prices hold, it's, I think, a fair deal.
So why do you think there is a risk that prices may come down? If volume growth is in double digit, commodity prices are largely stable, what could lead to this cut in prices that you fear?
No, there are two things. One is when I mentioned is the monsoon. During the monsoon season, you do have a slackness in demand. But at the same time, I said there are certain tailwinds as well, because the kind of infra spending which is happening, you would have been reporting the growth one is seeing in real estate and housing right now. We expect with the elections down the line in the year, both the state elections in some major states plus the Lok Sabha elections coming less than a year down the line, you will have a lot more spending on projects like Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana and the rest of it. So those are good tailwinds. But jury on the monsoon is still out. One is the absolute volume of monsoon, then the spatial distribution and how it affects crops in various regions. But so far, the story has been, I think, encouraging.
All right. The last time Birla Corp spoke to us, Mr. Sandeep, The guidance that was given was volume growth will be closer to around 15% for this year. That's FY24 on the whole, with EBITDA per ton hovering around 850 rupees per ton. Now, we have a fourth into the year. I don't want to ask you about this current quarter because obviously you're in silent period. But for the year, do you think those numbers are gettable? Volumes 15% higher, EBITDA per ton 850.
We kind of stick to those guidance because you see our volume growth mainly will come from our new commissioning of the Mukutban assets, which is near Nagpur, new plant. And the ramping up is going on well. And it's going according to plan or maybe a little ahead of our expectations. And if the market in that region, holds up, and if we see profitability in the market, there are two aspects. I'm quite confident the volume growth will come in any case, but then it will be a good boost to our bottom line because there we have a lot of fiscal incentives which will start kicking in, and that's going to be beneficial for our bottom line.
All right, Mr. Sandeep, we don't get to speak to you very often, but what's the view on the jute business? Why don't you just get rid of it? I mean, it will be taking...
Jute holds a lot of promise for the future. And
okay, so you're positive on that. How do you see that business shaping up, sir?
See, there are two parts to it. What I was just now telling you, I think jute has a lot of promise, not just for us, for the country as a whole. I'm personally disappointed, that the country has missed an opportunity in not including jute in the PLI because it's a geo-fabric. Jute would have been a great industry, and I think it's an opportunity missed even by the state government and the industry per se. That would have been a fantastic opportunity to turn around that industry because today the demand for geofabric and eco-friendly fabric across the world, it is just booming. And unless we change our technology here, innovate, produce better designs, new kind of products, we really will be missing the bus in the international market. So there is a huge opportunity there, and there is so much individual people can do. As far as we are concerned, we are making our small steps in that direction. Our jute exports of value-added products has increased, and we are expanding in that market. We're trying to find niches like coffee beans is one product where jute is used exclusively. So we are going into international markets in Latin America, in Asia, East Asia, where jute is being used. We are going in for shopping bags of high-end supermarket chains and people who are moving into that. But that's, as I was saying, that there is so much we can do as individual because it's not been a very profitable industry. But I think it has promise, and it would be both a fallacy or a mistake for a company to shed it, as well as I think we'd be doing a disservice to the national cause if a company like ours, which has been 100 years in this business, were to shed it just because it's maybe too small in the scheme of things. But to add to it, gives us a healthy bottom line for the size of this business.
Got it. Absolutely. I take that point, and well put. Thank you very much for joining us. Good speaking with you here on CNBC-TV18. Thanks indeed.